Hi friends, this is Suzy, your Candy Crush guru. It is April 14th, 2023, and I am here to talk again about the All-Stars event in Candy Crush Saga. And if you find these videos helpful, I'd ask that you consider liking and subscribing. So, we are getting close, very, very close to the semi-finals. And it should say on here that I am a day away from being able to participate because I qualified in the quarterfinals. Let's talk about where we are and where we are headed. If I look at the official terms for the game, those of us who made it by qualifying in the quarterfinals, we should be set and ready to go for tomorrow. Those who didn't make it into the quarterfinals but are playing the second part of the wild card event will know today whether or not they placed and are able to get into the semifinals. Everyone else might get a notice like, the All-Stars event has ended. Well, it's ended for you. It hasn't ended yet, but it has ended for folks who didn't qualify. I'm hoping they'll still throw in a few extra little events and games associated with the All-Stars event, even for those who are no longer participating. All right, now let's talk about where we're going. For those of us who've made it into the semifinals, for those of us who have qualified, there are 3 upcoming rounds. And I tell you, from this point on, it is going to be cutthroat. The competition is going to be more difficult. King might pull their shenanigans. Let me talk about what's happening and what I plan to do. So, the first round, notice there are 3 semifinal rounds. The first round is scheduled to take place between April 15 and 18. And it starts and ends in the evening, which is really nice for me because I'm awake at this point in time and presumably have had my coffee and am clear thinking. What I plan to do is hold off until around the 17th or 18th of April. I don't have 3 days to rack up a whole bunch of points. Now, because I am going to try to get in with other slackers, with people who don't start right away and therefore haven't spent hours and hours accumulating and don't have the same numbers as the people who start right as soon as it opens on the 15th, I run some risks. It could be that I get in with a leaderboard where someone is just really good at collecting. And so even though I started late, they still just outgun me. They just outplay me, and that's fine. Kudos to people who have that, both the passion and the ability. I won't feel any disappointment whatsoever. Another thing that could happen is King could say, guess what, we've got enough leaderboards because we need to start getting down to 10. At the end, they need just 10 people. So, we've already got X number of leaderboards. And so if you show up, if you wait until the 18th to show up, there are just no more leaderboards for you to get into. And we're just pulling the event from you. I'm going to be running that risk. The closer we get to the end, the more likely they are to do something like that. And it's their prerogative. They get to set the terms of the game. So, I still probably will wait until maybe the 17th or 18th to play. We will see how I feel and how nervous I get. And I will also say I have no intention of going to London. Let's say I just breeze through and get really easy groups for all of these semifinals and I get invited to London. Even if I got invited to London, there's a good 50% chance I would choose not to go and cede my spot to someone else. And that is assuming I got that opportunity. I don't think I'm going to get that opportunity. I think I'm going to be outplayed. So anyway, it's not extremely important to me. That's the point. It's not extremely important to me. So it's okay if I don't make it in because they run out of leaderboards to give me. I won't be disappointed. If you are going to be severely disappointed, you have to evaluate how much you can invest and what the potential payoff is for you. All right, and then let's say we do make it in. For those who make it through the semifinal round 1, there's the semifinal too, and that's going to take place not in the afternoon, but it starts in the morning and ends in the morning, Eastern time, 8 a.m. Eastern. So for me, that would be 6 a.m. That means that, let's say I decide to hold off and play at the end, I still have to get up at like 3 or 4 in the morning to have just a couple of hours left of the event so I can try to play. And that's tough for me to wake up that early for a game that I don't plan on taking all the way to the end. I might, simply because I am a YouTuber and I want to share my experiences with you. That's the only reason, not for the game itself. The rewards we get are not very big. I would have, a better outcome playing some easier events at my leisure if I'm just collecting boosters. All right, so that's the second semifinal. And then we get to the third semifinal. And this is going to take place on the 21st and 22nd of April. So it's going to start at 8 a.m. Eastern time on April 21. It's going to go for 24 hours. It's going to end at 8 a.m. on the 22nd of April Eastern time. So 6 o'clock my time. Wow. And all of the people who competed so strongly here are going to be showing up here. It's going to be hugely difficult. Now, let's say you make it to the top of your leaderboard in the semifinal 3. It could be that King has allowed, let's say, 15 leaderboards in this. And so they may just take the top 10 of those 15 leaderboards. So if 10 leaderboards show people getting 10 million points and 5 have them only getting 8 million points, then those 5 are going to be shunted down and the 10 that make the most points are going to win. Or they could do it that this tiebreaker information says, in the event of tied scores at any stage, the winner will be the first participant to have submitted that score. So it could be that they assess it by the number of points or by the timing. And it may be that this is the stage where they try to winnow away everything and get down to just 10 leaderboards and take the top 10 people from those 10 leaderboards. So it could be based both on your position on the leaderboard and then also how many points you have. So when we get to these stages, it's probably not so wise for me to be a slacker if I want to get to London. That's my evaluation. Take this information as I give it, which is just trying to help in the best way I can, I don't have any affiliation with Candy Crush. I don't know what they're intending to do. I'm just garnering information based on what they have said and what I have experienced from them in the past. So evaluate that with your own common sense and your own findings and your own ambitions. Because if you are completely ambitious, you are not like I am, and therefore you would be upset if you didn't make it to the end. All right. And then, of course, if you do make it to the end, you will be, at that point in time, required to sign a whole bunch of legal documents, including non-disclosure agreements, make sure you've got your passport available and everything like that. Because if you don't qualify, if you're not eligible to travel to London during the time that they have the event set, then they'll give your spot to someone else. So really, really, really difficult. All right. So that is it for me. I am looking forward to hearing how all of you are doing and what your plans are. I've really been interested in this through the entire process. I'm sorry I haven't been responding to people a lot. I haven't been available at my computer, and sometimes it's hard to do it via the telephone. But what I do is, I still say telephone, that's how old I am. What I do is I look at all of the comments on my phone, and then I always have the intention of coming back and responding when I'm on my computer, and I often don't get to it. Or if you see gibberish as a response, that means that I've tried to use voice to text on my phone, and it has misinterpreted my words and thrown in about 17 times the number of commas I would normally use. That's what I'm dealing with. All right, that is it for me. Please keep me updated on your progress, and as always, thank you so much for watching. Bye-bye.